Afternoon, folks. Hiya, welcome to the Wholly Irregular ECY Shedcast. This episode comes to you from a very dark and grim November afternoon in Yorkshire, but we're nice and warm and dry inside, so there we go. What can we do? So I hope you're all alright. We're in England, we're in the middle of lockdown 2, so I think I mentioned that last time, didn't I? It's getting a bit dull now. It's a bit inconvenient, isn't it? What can you do? Just, it's just a case of trying to take pleasure in everyday things, little things, This is why we love our craft so much, I suppose, isn't it? Stuff like that really helps at times like this. And getting out with the dogs and getting muddy feet when I go for a run, and there are lots of little things. There's lots of little things around the house as well, just enjoy a nice cup of hot chocolate and have a look through inspiring pictures on Instagram and just things like that. It just keeps us going, doesn't it? So I hope you're doing all right. I know it's not the easiest time at the moment, is it? I have to say it's running a business and trying to look after everybody is very difficult at the moment. I posted about this on Instagram, but I am feeling tired and uninspired and demotivated, to be honest. My creativity is probably at an all-time low right now, and obviously when you run a creative business, that's very difficult to cope with. It's not the first time it's happened. I do get burnout. Well, I always used to get burnout really badly after a show, and it took me a few years to realise that it was burnout and that it will pass. And again this time, it will pass. It's just a case of doing what you can whilst you wait for it to pass. It's a pain. What more can I say? It's annoying. And life has to go on. It can't all come to a halt. So like I say, it's just a case of doing what you can and having low expectations. If your to-do list for the day is have a shower, get the washing done, cook a fresh meal, then that's it, isn't it? Those are your expectations, and that's fine. That's completely normal. Or perhaps you have a packed to-do list, which is my state of affairs, and you have to expect that you won't get them all done that day, and you have to pick some out, prioritise them, and carry the next lot over to the next day sometimes, most of the time. And again, that's okay. Keep your expectations low and don't put so much pressure on yourself, which is massively hypocritical of me, but if it helps and you are able to do that, then please do. So anyway, sorry, enough of the lecturing. I just kind of feel like there's a lot of people feeling like this at the moment. I feel like this, and it feels like you're the only person in the world that feels like this. And the more that we talk to each other about it, the more we realise that we're not alone at all. A lot of people are feeling quite low at the moment. I mean, I am not a very sociable person. I like to have a nice, quiet, peaceful weekend, to be honest, because I'm generally knackered by then. But even so, I'm still finding it just all a bit flat. We've got friends who have just moved to around the corner, and at this time of year, normally, we'd have been going to Christmas markets, we'd have been round at their house, they'd have been round at our house, we'd have done some board gaming together, we'd have had meals, all sorts, and none of that's happening. So I mean, it's nothing, you know, fancy or exotic or glamorous, but those little things that had become part of our routine, they're all gone. So yeah, it just it's a difficult time, even if you kind of quite enjoy the peace and quiet of it, which I do. There's still that additional kind of little, I don't know, other layer of stuff that's been removed. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to tell you where I'm at, really. I kind of hope that by talking about it, if you're feeling the same, you won't feel so alone. But also it helps me to be able to tell you about it and to be open and honest about it. It's talking helps. It just does. So yeah, everything is a bit meh at the moment. However, you know, we're still here, we're still going, which is, you know, it's incredibly fortunate. And I'm really, really grateful, really grateful. And I mean, my version of not feeling very creative is probably still fairly creative, I suppose. And so, yeah, I thought I would just tell you about what we're up to at the moment. And you've probably seen I can't stop faffing about with this big pile of mohair that's next to me. So I shall start with this. So our not quite latest update, because we've just done another little one today, but earlier this week we had an update of Eldewick Lace, which is our mohair and silk 2-ply lace weight. It's very fluffy. It's got a lovely sheen to it. And it's light, it's warm, it's soft. I know not everybody can tolerate mohair, so apologies if this is of no interest to you, but it's of interest to a lot of other people, I'm afraid. So, you know, that's part of it, isn't it? Some yarns are for some people and some yarns are for other people. So this is for the mohair lovers, which I am a big one. I've got all these skeins here, they're all sat untwisted because I'll show you what I do with them. When I photograph them in the twisted skeins, but also if I've got time, I really like to photograph them. So I might photograph them in a twirl, like that. Actually, the mohair doesn't sit that nicely in a twirl, as you can see. So with this, I tend to sort of lay it flat, and behave. I tend to photograph it just flat on a table like that, because I think you can see better what the fibres are like. Whereas when it's in a skein, it doesn't always do it justice. So yeah, I was photographing one of each colourway in a twirl, and I've left them all unskeined, well, untwisted, so that I could show them to you properly. This one is Meadow Rue. Now, we do already have some Eldewick Lace in stock, but to be honest, I thought the colours that were left were getting a bit samey, so I thought it was time that we refreshed the palette. I've done quite a few brights, just because what we've got already, there's lots of muted, lots of neutrals, so you know, it seems silly to repeat those, doesn't it? So that's Meadow Rue, and we've got Thunder. Now, it's very frustrating to me that this looks grey And I suppose it has come out very grey. I mean, God, in this light, it looks completely grey actually. But if you've had Thunder before, you'll know that it's a purpley colour, grey purple, and it comes out much more purpley on other bases, it has to be said. But it's very greyish on this. And when I was photographing it, you just didn't get any colour at all. I don't know if you can see it if I hold it against this jumper, maybe. It's a dusky sort of colour. Anyway, so that's Thunder. We have Bark, which is a classic. You see how the colour changes when I move it around in the light. So Bark is a light mousy brown, which doesn't sound terribly glamorous, but this is a neutral that I do a lot because it goes with lots of colours, and it's nice to have something that isn't grey. It's nice to have something that's just a bit different. So that's Bark. And then actually I've done a few neutrals, but I've done lots of bright colours as well. This is Steel. So very simple grey, but it's very pretty, especially on this yarn. Can you see that core? It's really silky and sort of catches the light beautifully. It's just gorgeous. I love this yarn. We have Calamondin, gorgeous lime green. Oh, I just love it. Chartreuse, I suppose. Okay. We have totally unseasonal Daffodil, like a little baby duckling. Just because, you know, we all need a bit of yellow on a grey day like this. So, oh, just gorgeous. We've got Rosehip. No, sorry, that's Rosehip. This is Azalea, which is pink. And then Rosehip's my more orangey one. So that's Azalea. I've got an Azalea where the flowers are this sort of colour. So it's named after that. Azalea. And then here is Rosehip. This is a coral. Again, totally unseasonal. There we go. I don't know if you've just heard the sound of little tootsies, but a certain small dog has come to see me. Hello. She's wondering what I'm doing. Shall I see if I can get her to jump up? Ebs, come here. Can you jump up? Can you jump up? Ebony. Come here, darling. Come here. Oh, hello. She's just growling because Luna's sniffing her. Hello, darling. Yeah, I know. Hey, down you go then. Oh, I know. Yes. Shall I see if I can get Luna to say hello? Luna. Hang on a sec. Luna, come here. Oh, if Ebony will let her through. Hey, darling. There she is. Mwah. Hey. Oh, big stretch. Yeah. Can you see her? Yeah, you can see her. These are my two assistants. Let's just have a little check. Yes, it's Yarn. It's Yarn. Mwah. Pardon you, she just burped at me. Right, let me just wash my hands. That's it. Good girls. I'm in the middle of recording a video, girlies. Right, sorry about that, I'm back. They're still here, they're still in the room looking at me like I'm absolutely crackers. There we go. So, should we carry on looking at these colours? We have Rust. I did Rosehip last, didn't I? And here's Rust. which I've never done on Eldewick Lace before, and I'm really pleased that I have, because I love it. And then the other one that I've not done before, which I absolutely love, is Marigold. I don't know if you can tell how rich the colour is actually. On my screen it looks a little bit washed out, but it's a really rich yellowy goldy colour. I've got, oh, let's have a look. We have Whispering Grass. Now this has come out actually quite odd on this base. I'm not sure why. It's okay, but it's sort of, I don't know, maybe slightly pinky. But anyway, that's quite a good neutral if you want something a bit more warm and yellowy. And then moving on from that one, you alright, Ebbs? Hey, you alright? Good girl. Is Falling Leaves, which is that little bit darker than Whispering Grass. I think of this as like almost being a golden retriever, like a golden retriever mixed with I don't know, something a bit darker, a lion. But anyway, yeah, slightly weird mix up there. It's, again, it was very difficult to photograph this colourway. It's, I would call it a soft gold, really. But the camera just tried to, well, it just thought it was colourless, really. It's not. It's a really gorgeous soft gold. Anyway, what have we got next? Charcoal, which is, as you might imagine, charcoal grey. I'm sure you probably guessed that. It is actually slightly variegated though. The colours sort of split a little bit. So you've got like a pinky, ever so slightly pinky grey, and then you get like a slightly more bluish or greenish grey. Anyway, there we go. So that's charcoal. And Mill Pond, which is greyish blue. Okay, and then the last one I've got here is Misty Woods, which is an ECY classic. You probably already know that. So lovely mint green. Mint green? Yeah, I think it probably is, isn't it? It's quite sort of a vintagey colour. It's one of my oldest colourways and it's still going strong. So that's that lot. That's all the Eldewick Lace that went live. Was it yesterday or the day before? I don't even know where we are now. So yeah, so I hope you enjoy that, and obviously it works well on its own as well as combined with other things. So have fun combining it with other things. There's lots of other 4-ply and double knit and stuff in stock. This jumper is ranunculus, and for this one, so I used one strand of Brooklyn Tweed Loft, which I realise is, you know, it's not exactly ECY publicity, is it? Bad business owner. But that is helped with 2 strands of Eldewick Lace. That was Calamondin as well, actually. So what happened was I bought the Brooklyn Tweed Loft at Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Was it a couple of years ago? Whenever they were there. And I don't know why, I just didn't buy enough. Like I bought almost a sweater quantity, but not quite. I just don't know what I was thinking. In this gorgeous dark bottle green. And it lingered in my stash for absolutely ages. And I eventually thought, right, okay, I'm going to finally make this sweater with this lovely loft. And then I got it out and I was just like, I don't quite have enough. Like, what was I thinking? So I was mulling it over for quite a while and I realised that a good way to make it go far enough to make a sweater would be to hold it double with something else. So And when I was swatching, I just decided that holding it with one strand of fluff wasn't enough. So I thought, well, I'll just try it with two. And actually, I really liked it. I have to be honest, you can't see the lace pattern really at all, because the colours just totally hide it, but I don't really care. I'm happy with it anyway. So, I mean, obviously you could use ECY Milburn 4-ply or double knit, held with the Eldwick lace instead. We do have a dark green. It's not as dark as this, but moss is obviously a mossy green rather than a bottle green. And yeah, so I managed to make, I don't know how many skeins I had, not a lot of the loft, turn into an entire jumper. And it didn't use a huge amount of the mohair either, really, because obviously you're on big needles. And this fabric is so light and warm and comfy. It's just lovely. So I'd like to try making, I think it's a Love Note sweater, doing the same thing, but with probably Milburn, and then 2 strands of mohair, and see how that comes out. I think that would be really nice. So that's it held double, and I mean, I know it's a craze, sort of at the moment, or well, not a craze. That's a bit, it's a bit unfair to call it that. But there's a sort of thing, isn't there, for holding mohair double with other things. It took me quite a long time to get on board with it, but I have to say, I am now a woman possessed. I love holding mohair double with other things. So here it is double with Carlisle fingering in my Laverton shawl, with just plain Carlisle for the stripes. That colour's Larkspur, I think, or Blue Geranium. Blue Geranium? One of the blues, clearly. This one is the original Laverton shawl as well. So this is Carlisle fingering in Little Owl, held double with Eldwick lace in, it was either silver birch or steel. I think it's still silver birch, actually. And then for the stripes, we've got a sparkly Napier 4-ply. So the one thing to bear in mind if you're holding Eldwick lace double with another colour is that it will mute the other colour, or vice versa. Depends which one's the more sort of jazzy of the 2 colours. So just keep that in mind. We have a blog post all about combining colours, like specifically mohair with other colours. So if you want any help, do go and have a look for that blog post. Here it is. Oh, well, this is the moss that I was talking about. Obviously, it's not quite as dark as the Brooklyn Tweed is, but this is Milburn in moss. I think it's 4-ply, held double with Eldwick lace in larch, and this is the profiterole hat, this is called. So we'll pop links to all of the patterns and things in the blurb for this YouTube video, but also in the show notes blog post to go along with it. So that's profiterole hat. It's so light and lovely. This is it held double with Pendle Chunky in Festive Fun, and the Eldwick lace was natural. This is a pattern that I designed for Midwinter Yarns called the Signal Rock hat. It's designed for Aaron, but I did it on the same, I think I did the same size needles, but got obviously a really tight fabric because I just wanted it really thick and cosy. So that's worked nicely. But then I've got quite a lot of hats, actually. I'll just whiz through them. I forgot I had this. Check out my polar bear hat. I love this hat. So this is Whitfell Chunky, which is baby alpaca in natural, held double with it's Eldwick lace actually in Campanula, which is a pale blue, because it's all I had at the time to hand, and I just wanted to get on and make it. I didn't have the patience to wait. And then for the ears, I've used Sparkly 84 ply. Shall I show it you on? I wore this loads last year. There you go, look. Look at my little bear ears. Yeah, no? I love it. I love this hat. There's nothing quite like turning up to a winter cross-country run wearing a polar bear hat and then having to strip everything off and go and get muddy. What else have we got? This is, oh, what's it called? I think this hat pattern is called, oh, if I'm going to kick myself if this is wrong. I think it's called Picamousse. I'll check and again pop the link in the comments and the show notes. But this is Pendle double knit in Drizzle, which is an excellent soft neutral, with Eldewick lace in Natural. I found the gauge on this very tight because it's all twisted rib, and I think adding the fluff in really tightened up the fabric. You know, it thickened it all up, but it was so worth it because this is a really thick, cozy hat. Just perfect for this November weather. And Pendle double knit, I think, is quite underrated, I have to say. So I'm glad I found that again. I need to have a really good dig around in the cupboards for all my thickest winter gear. This is the original Signal Rock hat, which this was the predecessor of. So this was the actual kind of like proper version of it. So this is one of Midwinter Yarns' yarns. I can't remember which one, I'm afraid, but they have the kits on their website, and that's got Eldewick lace in it as well, just to add that little bit of fluff. And then finally, this is a woolly wormhead one. I think it's just called Wide Ribbed Beanie, I think. So this is so lush. This is Askham Aran, which is baby alpaca and silk, held double with Eldewick lace. And I've got to bring this right up to the camera because it is so lush. I hope you can see that okay. See how fluffy it is. It's so gorgeous. Oh, it's just so soft. So yeah, that colour is Stone Crop, held double with, I think it's either Natural or More Silver Birch, and with a Toft alpaca pom-pom on top. So that's it, held double with different things. There are many, and probably many more to come. In fact, I saw a post on Instagram earlier of Eldewick lace. No, it was a different brand of mohair and silk, but it was held double with our Tempo 4 ply. So now that's got me thinking, oh, Eldewick lace with Tempo 4 ply, that's one I haven't tried. Now this is my Cumulus blouse. It sort of looks like a bit shapeless and horrible really when I hold it up like that, doesn't it? But when I wear it, it's just fabulous. There are pictures of this on my Instagram and all sorts. But this is Eldewick lace held double with itself. And it's got a lovely I-cord edge, which I love. So this is really cozy and it squishes up all small like that. And I absolutely love this jumper. It's so lovely. So yeah, I was torn between wearing that for the Shedcast and wearing this, but I ended up wearing this because it is freezing outside and it's damp and horrible. But yeah, this came a close second So I definitely recommend that Eldwick Lace held double with itself. It makes a really quick knit. It's a gorgeous, warm and lightweight fabric. It's so easy and comfy to wear. And then, oh, what else have we got in here? There's so much. I have to show you these things, otherwise they just sit in the cupboard. Well, they get worn, but I mean, if nobody sees them, what even is the point? This, oh, it looks really wrinkly. I'm sure it's not really. It's a Kate Davies pattern. No, it's gone. I can't remember what it's called. We'll check. This is just Eldwick Lace in daffodil and campanula, so just a bit of yellow and blue. It's very springy. There we go. I wish I could remember what it's called. That's going to bug me now. So yeah, that's that little neckerchief really. But that's the thing about mohair, isn't it? It just floofs out and it traps so much warm air in it. You know, and that is small enough that if I was wearing it dog walking and I got hot, I could squish that into a pocket. And then, oh, I've got two more things. I won't be long, but I have to show you these. This is my Braithwaite shawl pattern. Oh, it's actually huge. I forget how huge this shawl is. So that's just Eldwick Lace. Again in daffodil. I've got a thing about Eldwick Lace in daffodil, haven't I? It's not intentional. And it's got beads on the edging. Oh, you can just about see them, which just give it that weight around the edge. So if you want something a bit more substantial, but also looks quite posh, that's a good one. It's got just that bit of lace to it, but then stocking stitch as well. So kind of ticks all the boxes really. That's a beautiful big shawl. It's really warm and cozy. So that's that. And then finally, and this is the final Eldwick Lace project that I really wanted to show you, is this one. Oh, I've still got my tag on it. Well, that's quite useful. This is Laura crocheted this. This is Diamonds and Tassels Shawl by Sandra Paul. So her podcast is the Cherry Heart podcast. She's always posting beautiful things on Instagram as well. It's very inspiring. So this is the Diamonds and Tassels shawl. You know, for me, I would wear it folded over and then round like that. Untrap my earrings, like so. And I love these cute little tassels on the end. I do like a tassel or a pom-pom. And that colourway is Misty Woods, which I was showing you earlier. So yeah, it knits and crochets up beautifully, as you can see. Okay, that's all the Eldwick Lace. Right. What else do we have that's happened this week? Okay, the next thing I will tell you about is that more Nate Before Play in Festive Fun has gone live. That's gone live. Oh, it went live when the Eldwick Lace did. So this is it knitted up. Obviously not all skeins will look the same knitted up. And I know I've shown you this before, but just a quick reminder, this is the Fuss Free Festival Shawl by Louise Tilbrook. It's a favourite of mine because I like the way it breaks up the colours in a variegated skein. But I generally make mine 2 skein sized because I prefer that big cosy kind of squish that you get with the 2 skein size. So yeah, and little pom-poms, which are always adorable. Actually, that end would flip up over my shoulder as well. There you go. and it's sparkly. So More Festive Fun Make Before Apply is live. I've also got the chunky version, which was in the hat I showed you earlier, hopefully going live towards the end of next week. So that's that. We have lots of Cat Vent boxes due to go out in the next 2 weeks. And I'll just show you, seeing as I genuinely have them right here. Well, I have a thing of yarn, like a tray of yarnlings right here, which we're using. So this is Cat Vent. This is from 2019. It's not the 2020 Cat Vent pattern. This is the 2019 one. And it's a cowl. Don't know if you can see that. It's a cowl. It's colour work, and there are 24 little bits of pattern. So you get 24 colours. You get 2 yarnlings of each colour, because they're 5 gram yarnlings and you need 10 grams of each colour. So we are busy again this year producing these, which is a very satisfying job. And it's great because we get to put in all different yarns and all different colours. So they're random, so each box is going to turn out different. Some will have like lots of pinks or browns or greens or whatever. Try to mix them up, obviously, but like I say, they are all different. And you get to randomly sample the yarns, which is cool. The 2020 Cat Vent is a big blanket, which I think would need Millburn double knit, possibly mixed with like some hand-dyed double knits as well. And we're talking about putting together kits for that, but I have to be honest, time is running out, and I haven't had a chance to follow up on that yet. So we might end up just sticking with the 2019 Cat Vent and just for ourselves doing that again for 2020. And maybe we'll catch up with this year's Cat Vent next year. I don't know, we'll see. If I do manage to get on it, then I will let you know. So that's that lot. And then today we've had another little mini update go live. This one is in aid of a pattern release. It's a boxy lacy sweater. It's like all over lace. It's really, really gorgeous. By Vitalina Craft. Now, I'm not sure if I've pronounced that correctly, but that's how it looks. You know, it reads like Vitality would do. So it's VI Vitalina, or Vitalina possibly. But we'll put the link up, as I say, in the show notes and in the comments so that you can find that. Now, she's used Blossom for her pattern. So I believe it will be going live today or very soon, and we thought we'd best get the yarn sorted ready for that. So she's used Blossom, and the yarn is Askham 4-ply, which is baby alpaca and silk. And it's another, actually I think, really underrated yarn. It's absolutely lush. It's soft, it's got a tiny bit of fluff, it's got a silk in, so it's got a bit of sheen to it as well. So that's gone live today. Hello, small dog. Are you okay? She's looking at me expectantly. You all right? I think she's wondering why I'm not paying her any attention. Maybe she thinks I should be, you know, looking after her instead of talking to you. I don't know. You all right, my darling? Anyway, such is the life of a small dog. This is Thunder. I haven't actually brought all the colours out to show you. We've got Twig, Faded Bloom, Bark again. So you could hold this double with the Elderwick lace in Bark as well, couldn't you? And that'd be absolutely lush. See, that's another one that I need to try. And then we've got a Scorched Moors, which is a gently variegated colourway of charcoal with sort of golds and rusts in it. It's named for when they burn all the heather on the moorland, and then what's left is sort of a charcoal, and you get the colours of all the twigs of the heather, the undergrowth coming through. So that's Scorched Moors. There are other colours as well. So there are 10 colours, so do have a look. So that's Askham 4-ply, baby alpaca silk. So lush. So that's what is happening at the moment on the website. We've got loads of other stuff in progress. We've got Tweedy Aran coming soon. Oh, we've got a Woodbine sweater yarn back in stock. That's Bowland Aran in oak, bark, and then Eldwick lace in bark. You could choose other Aran yarns as well, but we were getting more and more requests for the original Woodbine yarns, so we thought we'd better stock up. So that's Woodbine, which was a pattern in Lane, and that's, again, it's Bowland Aran held double with Eldwick lace. So talking of Bowland Aran, I've just pulled this out because I've been wearing this a lot, and I did last year as well. And this is Bowland Aran in oak. So you can see how at least the Bowland Aran knits up. The colourway might have changed a little bit since this batch, but it won't be too much different, but just FYI. And this is the Gatekeeper cowl, which Estelle from Midwinter Yarns designed for this yarn. So I picked it up because I've been wearing it a lot. Then I realised I would also be talking about Bowland Aran in oak, which is what this is. And I thought, how convenient. So that's why I've brought that out to show you. That's one skein. So if you fancy a one skein Aran project, shall I pop it on and then you can see how it wears. There you go. I wear this a lot because it's got just enough structure to sort of stay up around the chin a little bit, but without like choking you. Yeah, so I do wear this a lot. But that's that one. And then talking of cowls, another thing, something that I finished recently that I wanted to show you, oh god, fluff, is this. This is our Embleton cowl from the Drift collection, which was out in 2015. And I crocheted this using our sparkly Silverdale double knit in Campanula, and I love it so much. And we haven't sold a huge amount of the sparkly double knit. It's just starting to sell now, I guess, as the weather turns and sort of like we want sparkly things because it's all dark. So that, yeah, that's understandable, but I just thought, do you know what, I need to show this yarn off a bit more because it's gorgeous. So that's Silverdale double knit. And then for the stripes, I used a bit of Pendle double knit in Larkspur, and then Milburn double knit in Black Tulip and Compost. Now the stripes aren't in the pattern, but they're very easy to add, and I just thought they added a little bit of interest as well. So that's a nice, thick, quite sturdy cowl, and I mean, it's sparkly. What's not to love about that? So yeah, so that's a crocheted one that I finished recently. So that's another cowl. I do like cowls. And then the FO that I finished this week, well, last week I guess actually, I've only just blocked it though, is this. And I did show you this on the last episode. This is Penny Kewick by Justina Lorkowska, aka Letty's Knits, which is spelled L-E-T-E. Letty. My sort of English accent wants to say Letty, but I think it's letter. So this is Penny Kewick, which is a Scottish place name. And oh, it's just lush, isn't it? I love this. So this is 4 colours. We have Rosedale 4-ply in charcoal. We have Brimham 4-ply High Twist in Dry Stone Wall, Hayton 4-ply in Snow Leopard, and then Brimham High Twist again in Drizzle. I mean, it's almost just natural, but there is a tiny hint of grey to it, just in little dapples. If you can even see, it's just got tiny dapples of grey in it. So yeah, I absolutely love this. I only unpinned it yesterday, and I've kept it really carefully folded because I knew I would want to show it off on the Shedcast today. And I want to get like pristine photos of it to show off. So I haven't actually worn it yet, but shall I put it on and then you can see? It's enormous. It took me ages to pin it out. And now I know why, because it's absolutely huge. But yeah, so that's 4 colours, and you can really mix and match your yarns with this. And it doesn't have to, obviously they don't have to be a gradient. It's just that I had my heart set on doing like a monochrome gradient, and I didn't have enough yarn to make a sweater. So I thought, actually, a monochrome shawl, I don't have any. That's what I want. So that's why I've done that. But you could use contrasting colours or anything, and, you know, different types of yarn as well. It's a nice way to see how they interact. Because obviously you've got Rosedale, 2 lots of Brimham High Twist, and then Hayton 4-ply, which are all quite different yarns. So that's huge. So I could wrap that around my neck. Definitely, I could have done one more loop. Also, now this is quite interesting to me, and I've never noticed this before. Look at the difference between the natural Hayton 4-ply colour and the natural Brimham High Twist colour. Can you see how much more creamy Hayton 4-ply is? I think that's the cashmere content, because they've both got the same superfine merino in, but that's got cashmere in it. Now I've been thinking, and it's taken me a very long time to realise this, but I started thinking, I think that Hayton 4-ply is making my colours come out more murky. And I've only recently realised that it actually is what it is, and it's not my imagination. That is actually happening. And then I knitted this up, and when I went from the Hayton 4-ply to the Brimham High Twist, I couldn't believe how sort of creamy and murky actually the Hayton 4-ply is. That's the cashmere in it. So it's quite interesting. So if you had Thunder on Hayton 4-ply compared to Brimham High Twist, for example, the Thunder would be, it comes out a lot more greyish, and then it comes out more purpley on the Brimham. So it's just one of those little things of why colours are different, really. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting observation, and I'm glad to know it's not just all in my imagination. And then one last thing before I finish, I thought I would just share something very cool with you that I got this week. These little things, because I just thought you might like them, are from Yarnistry. Do you recognise them? Have you seen them? There you go. You might have, if you follow her, you might have seen her post about these. They're like little pom-pom makers, but they're for making keyring pom-poms and stitch marker pom-poms with. So, like, you wrap the yarn around like you would with a pom-pom maker, and then just leave it. So you get like a little ball. It looks like a little ball of yarn. So that's the keyring size, and then that's the stitch marker size. So actually, if you wanted a gift for somebody, you could get these from Yarnistry, so that you've got 2 sizes, and then you could get from us like either a jar of yarnlings. You get 15 in a jar, although I usually put more in. Don't tell anyone. Or you could get the 25 gram yarnling Lucky Dip, which is 5 yarnlings. So like if you just wanted a little gift for somebody, so like you could buy those from me, and you could buy those from Yarnistry and send them to somebody to have a little bit of fun with, making stitch markers and key rings for a little crafty project over the holidays. That'd be nice actually, wouldn't it? Yes, I like it when an idea all comes into place. Interesting. So anyway, I just thought you might find those, hold them near the camera, as cute as I did. I thought they were a really fun idea. Something a bit different. Great way to use up little leftovers, or buy our yarnings, obviously. So where are we at? Yeah, that's everything. Again, I've told you what's coming up, haven't I? The super secret seasonal stash boxes are well on track to start shipping on the 4th of December, as planned. That's what we put in the listing. So that there's no change there. That's happening. I've had more deliveries again today for those. Oh, in fact, I can show you. Just one sec. I got these from Vistaprint today. Make sure I get them the right way up. There we go. Check out my stickers. Festive stickers. Oh, nice. They're nice and glossy as well. They're probably more expensive than our non-glossy ones, but I thought these had to be glossy, didn't they? So yeah, we're getting deliveries. I think I've got everything that I need now. We might be just waiting for sort of details. So yeah, super secret seasonal stash boxes on track, all good. Can't wait for you to see what's in them. What else have we got? The wooden sheep from Japan, they have arrived. So we shall start packing those up next week and get them out. I mean, obviously we want to get them out as quickly as we can, but I need to make sure that they are packed properly, and that I've got what I need to do that. The right boxes and materials and stuff. So they hopefully will start going out next week. Oh, what else have we got happening? To be honest, that's filling my brain. Even just the stash boxes are filling my brain. Yeah, and I've mentioned the... Oh, yeah. So we've got Keswick Aran, so that's the Tweedy Aran coming soon. What else have we got? Oakworth double knit coming soon. I'm just about to finish dyeing a bit of that today, and then maybe more next week. More minis. I'm trying to remember. That's all I can think of that's coming imminently. There's the Chunky Festive Fun, but I've already mentioned that. There must be... Keswick Fingering. There's more Keswick Fingering coming. I've just done 5 more colours, but actually I already want to do more again, and I really hope that you'll like the Aran as well, because again I already want to do more. So I shall photograph that and get that up on the website for you as soon as I can, and then we can see what you think and see if I can justify doing more, hopefully. So I think that's all. If I think of anything else, well, it'll be in our newsletter and social media and all that kind of thing. I'm struggling a bit with social media actually at the moment. I mean, I always do really, but it just feels like such an effort at the moment. I can't just constantly I have this stuff to talk about, but oh God, I just don't know what to say, and I can't just put buy this stuff, I need to make an effort. But it is feeling like an effort at the moment. Anyway, I hope you don't mind. At the end of the day, I have to post stuff on there, that I need to sell. So it is what it is. It's just me overthinking it, I think. But yeah, so newsletter is where it's at really. If you're not already on it, please do join it. The reason that I obsess over the newsletter is because A, it's easier to produce, because I can send you several bits of information all in one go, but also with social media, you see, other people own social media. You don't own your account on social media. You might run it, but you do not own it. And if they change the algorithm, customers start missing posts. I miss posts. I miss my own posts. It's infuriating. Whereas with the newsletter, that can't happen. And so that's why I'm always banging on about join the newsletter, because it's direct, it's a lot easier to produce, and I just so much prefer it, and I think it's better for customers too, to be honest. Anyway, hello again. I have a little visitor. I think she might be wanting to go in the garden, so I'm going to go and let her out. And I'm going to go and finish dyeing today's Oakworth double knit that's in the dye pot. And I shall set this uploading. And I will see you next time. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Do let me know if you have any comments or anything like that. And I'm sorry if I look tired. I am absolutely exhausted. I'll see you later.